Hello, welcome to a new video. So, I decided I was going to do some gestures. Actually, I had a whole thing for this video, and it turned out insanely long, and so I have to break it up, and I'll try to fit a traditional video in between, so, bear with me on that one. So, these are going to be decently quick, messy kind of gestures. And none of them are perfect, and looking back through, I saw some mistakes that I made that I was like, ooh. Originally I wanted to do this traditionally, and it just wasn't going to work out the way that I wanted it to. I ended up filming on Mother's Day for these ones. I wasn't home, but people came to our house anyway, so I wasn't really gonna get to hang out with my mom anyways, and then they got called away to bring our doggy because one of the cows that we take care of got attacked by a wolf, and it was okay. It wasn't like really hurt, and so I hope there's nothing else out there that got hurt, and it just, got a good timed kick in and made a run for it. So they had to go and bring it in with as little stress as possible so that it could get doctored. So anyway, all that aside, my idea was that I was going to do these really quick sketches and just take from it what I needed, and then I was going to use the sketches that I made as a reference for what I had been doing recently on paper in pen, which is drawing a character kind of based off of those gestures so that I would have the movement and something that maybe I wouldn't have thought of myself, or maybe wouldn't even really draw myself anyways. Just for the practice. So I was like, well, I can do that. And if I do it on my computer, it'll be much easier because I can step away. But as you see in the corner, I decided to also film it. I've mentioned before, whenever I try filming this way, it's a little difficult because I usually have my laptop kind of at a slant. And getting my camera like that means it's gotta be, kind of right beside my head, so the view that you have in that corner is basically your ear up to mine. I mean, it's pretty close. So you can see kind of the view that I have going. You can also see that sometimes when I'm drawing, the legs look longer from our perspective than they do flat on the screen. So keep that in mind. Yeah, this is just drawing on my Samsung Galaxy BOOK2 Pro 360. And the fact that I can remember that whole name is just a testament to how much I looked up stuff about it before getting one. A few years ago now? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, here we are. We're just working through these. I ended up doing about 20 drawings, and it took me a little bit. Some of them are faster than others. I think it was like 45 minutes or something if you cut out me going to my Spotify and changing my music every 2 seconds, because that's who I am as a person. I was a little worried for a long time that if I played music, my microphone would pick it up, especially my new one, but luckily it did not. But I will say, you're gonna be able to tell in this video that I am at home. So if you like the background noise of like a cafe or, I don't know, an industrial warehouse, that's what you're gonna get in this video, kind of in the background. You're gonna hear the drawing on the screen because I do have a matte screen protector. But you're definitely going to be hearing some people talking in the background. And then you're also going to have my very tired and very allergy-ridden voice to keep you company in this one. Because, yeah, I mean, part of my face is even swollen, so I'm like living the dream over here. But yeah, I actually had a lot of fun doing these. I don't do gesture drawing digitally very much unless I'm just drawing for my own stuff. I just prefer doing it with pen. It feels really nice and it glides well, and when I originally started doing gesture drawing about 100 years ago now, I used pen. I used a little zebra pen, an F301 or whatever, the really thin ones. I really like them. And that was my favorite pen that I wrote with and sketched with, and that's what I did gesture drawings with. And yeah, so I had been drawing on my big board because I got some more legal size paper for it, and I had found some gestures on it that I had done before, and I started drawing the character I've been obsessed with. Yes, I know, it's reoccurring, I have a problem. It's literally how I cope with everything in life. So yeah, I started just drawing my character Rust again, just based off of those gestures and kind of trying to put his spin on it. I don't think I did as good a job on the next part of this, which you're not going to see for a little bit, where I draw him, spoiler, I draw him based on these gestures. But whenever I did it on paper, I really liked it, and I felt decent that day. Like, I felt really warmed up, and I think I posted them on Instagram. Just in my story, so you're not going to be able to see them just in the feed, but yeah. It was really fun, and the way that I bit off more than I could chew a bit with this one, because I did film for like 4.5 hours. I once again did about the 20 pictures, and one of them's a face, and I really wanted to work through all of them. I really wanted to draw my character 20 times, baby, but I had been going for so long, and I had my arm up and I couldn't even rest it on anything, and my shoulder was pulled forward, and it hurt pretty bad, and it was... I already have an issue with it, but it was really making my arm go numb and part of my back. I think that's just from my back stuff that I found out I had recently. So, yeah, it was rough, and I eventually decided that that was enough, and I needed to stop, and it was fine. I had done a lot of them, but I'm still a little sad I didn't. But if you see some in that video eventually, and I'll mention it again then just to remind people if they stick around. If you see one that you'd really like me to go over the top of when I am a fresh spring chicken and haven't been at it for way too long, I'll just go over it. I don't mind. So, yeah. But I do quite a few of these. So... yeah. I really tried. I tried to do more of the interesting ones, but I was just getting pretty finished, and I needed a video. Like I said, it was Mother's Day. Today's the day after, and it was a lot. It was a lot because I needed a video for Tuesday, and I needed to get something out, and I haven't had any friggin' time because I am doing stuff every single day. And we went to the market. We tried to go to the market on Saturdays, and we went again, and when we got back, I was exhausted. Not something I like about myself, that I really cannot handle, like, being in public or being around people socially without completely draining myself and having no energy. So, yeah. It was my plan to come back and try to run to go do a video, and then our doggy came home, and I really hate leaving when he comes home because he worries and looks for you the whole time. So, which is fair because I do the same thing when he's not home. So, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of noise in the background. It's just, I'm at home, so I really didn't want to leave the house and go anywhere. I just didn't want to. I wanted to be with my family, so yeah. I figured I might need the internet for this one, and then I ended up just saving all the pictures so I could use PureRef anyway. That way everyone could see what I was drawing from and see my mistakes. which there are many. They are legion. Not that I was trying to get the exact pose. I just wanted something clear that I could draw from later. I'm not even trying to match my character's proportion in these. I can do that afterwards. But, yeah. It was kind of funny listening back. Like, why does it sound like I'm in a coffee shop? So, that was pretty fun. Oh, if you hear my brother's voice in the background, and trust me, you will be able to distinguish it from the rest of my family. Or I guess, you know, he and my youngest brother sound like pretty similar, but he has a YouTube channel, so if you like his voice, it's X blank hearted X, and the little icon guy for the profile picture is a microphone. So yeah, and he does playthroughs. He's getting more into it recently, and he does do voice stuff that he wants to put up eventually, so if you're interested, there you go. Shameless plug, because I'm very proud of him, so there you go. Although disclaimer, he does use the big adult words, so if you don't like the big adult words, where do I even come from? Yeah, then maybe skip out. Yeah, right there, that leg was fine and I would have known what it was doing. But I had started getting back into how I like to quick draw legs, which is like more based off of the skeleton and rhythms. And I had kind of done that on the right side, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna just erase that and try to cement that in our memory by doing it again. So that's what that is. I hope you guys like seeing my hand actually on the screen drawing. One, you get to see how small I'm seeing it, how small it is in comparison to my hand. And two, I just really like watching videos where you can see someone drawing on the screen. It's definitely more challenging to record, and then I have to try to sync it up, and it's never perfect. But it does its job, so hopefully you like that. Another thing that it does is give you the sound of me drawing, and all of that fun background noise, so hopefully it keeps you company and you don't mind. Because it's, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to do. Yeah, I had fun with a lot of these. I went to quick poses, that's where I got all of these. And I saved some of the pictures in a folder so that I could, you know, actually find them. And then I had some that I had bought off of Studio Graffiti a long time ago. And I really like the guy's body type in that. So I just pulled from quick poses and just a couple, I think, off of the Studio Graffiti one. One of the guys in here, the one that's in the straight jacket that I drew, was like one of the first ones. He's like one of my favorite models. Every single time I go to quick poses, if there's a pose that he's done, I draw it. I really like his body type. I love how dynamic his poses are. So good. Huge fan. Huge fan. He does some like crazy stuff. It's really fun to draw, and there's something about him that feels very, I don't know, caricatured in a way. Like, not his face or anything, but just something about his movements are very caricatured and very nice. So it makes it really easy for me to think about my characters when I'm drawing him and how I'm going to apply, even if it's not necessarily a pose that I'm going to do exactly. I can think of variations, and I can think of like what the character would be thinking if they were in that pose, and what would be going on, and how it would fit, and who it would fit. And like I said, the body type's very similar to some of the ones that I tend to lean towards, so yeah, he's very fun to draw. Excuse me while I just turn the fan crank all the way up on that one, because he's just got great poses, man. And his anatomy is very clear. I look for that a lot, because when people do like really heavy lighting, if you're trying to study anatomy, sometimes that makes it so hard because you end up with invisible edges, and I want to see the muscles. I want to see each individual muscle and where it connects, and yeah, that makes it helpful. This one gets really pushed, and I don't know why. I mean, it's fine. I know what the pose is doing, and I could picture it. I got a little weird in the arm. I noticed whenever I went to draw my character off of it, I was like, what the hell is this? But it's fine. I sometimes do that when I'm working very quickly. And I just needed the base information, and I could kind of roll from there anyway. One of my fatal flaws is sometimes I'll see something, and when I say sometimes, I mean most times, I'll see something that's in a slight perspective, where you're like just barely tilting the camera above or below, and I'll draw it like a flat view, almost like you would with something orthographic. And yeah, I don't like that. This guy's so good. I mess up this leg, which is fine because I didn't want it like that anyway when I drew it. I kind of pushed myself to try to do it, and then I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want this leg. But yeah, I was clearly just trying not to draw into that other one because these are all in one layer, as you can see. I fought with my laptop a little bit because I have a problem with touchscreens always reading my hands. I have to wear the gloves because they just read my hand really, really well. Which is funny because most touch-sensitive stuff does not listen to me. Because my hands are really cold. Like, they can rarely get a pulse on me when I go to the doctor because my hands are just so cold. But, yeah, I had a lot of trouble with that. I kept erasing things and throwing my canvas and making it small and deleting my layers, and it was driving me absolutely bonkers. So, yeah. And I've turned gestures off of like a whole bunch of stuff because I don't use them anyway. I use a keyboard just to kind of like back off of some of that stuff. It already drives me crazy on iPad because it will draw with my finger instead of the pencil constantly, even though I keep trying to turn that stuff off. And man, it is just a whole thing. Like this being rotated, I didn't rotate it myself. It just decided that's what my hand said to do. And I had to cut out a lot of this pose because our dog was barking. Because people were at our house. And it stresses them out, so... But I liked this one. I liked the... I don't know, it felt cartoony after I'd drawn it. I had to fight my habit of wanting to, whenever I tilt the body like that, push the head up instead of tilting it back the way that it is. So. Probably the straightest line I've ever drawn in my life. Yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. I have had comments of people saying that they enjoyed watching me do gesture drawings. I'm not great, and like I said, these aren't meant to be like full studies. It's like I'm gonna look at them and get the base idea so that I can use it for something else. So that's the whole thing. But hopefully there's still some of you who are okay with it. I know that maybe it's not everyone's favorite, but hopefully it's not too boring. I did have like a blast doing this. It felt nice because I've been so busy. It's like really, really busy. And whenever I've been drawing, it's mostly been for work. For work as in our little business. Just trying to get things done for that, because there's so much to do. I was trying to race against time and get it done before work kicked up, but yeah, I'm not fast enough. And then I have to scratch the itch of occasionally just drawing for myself, or it messes with me. So yeah, annoying as that is, it is just the truth. But yeah, and then yeah, this whole week is going to be just wild. It's going to be wild. We're gonna be working. Actually, I was gonna be working both of my jobs this week, but then one person hasn't gotten back to us, so I know for sure one. And then my cousin is graduating. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of stuff. So I'm working against the clock here, trying to get all of my videos finished just for the whole month, so I'm not stressed and I'm not putting out really late videos, because I just don't like doing that. Even though I know it doesn't matter that much, but whenever I set a time and a goal, I just want to do it. It feels like making a promise, and I take that seriously. See, aren't his poses so cool? Like, that had to be so hard to hold even just for a photograph. This one. I actually drew it once before. Once before this one. And it ended up looking really technical, which was against what I was trying to do. So I deleted it out. But I will say, it was looking much better. And yeah, it looked like when you try to do, you know, proper figure studies, and yeah. But it just wasn't right for what I was using it for. There's no reason to put that much effort and stuff into this kind of session. This was not what I wanted it for. It's such an interesting pose though. It always reminds me of a crab. And this one was pretty dynamic. I only saw later, when I was going through the footage, some mistakes that I made in this one. Again, it served its purpose, but I thought of some ways to improve clarity that I couldn't do then. And I'm hoping that having drawn it, you know, technically twice, once from the picture and once from my own sketch, I will improve that over time. Wait, did I draw that one? No, never mind. I don't know if I drew this one. Don't believe me. If I didn't draw this one and you want to see me draw my character, that, yeah. Put down below, and I will make a note of it. Make an actual note of it. I'm a list person. Probably annoying to everyone else, but it helps me organize my thoughts. When I first saw this picture, I was like, Owen Wilson? I really like this one. This is one from one of the packs I was talking about that I have from Studio Graffiti. Any of the ones with this guy, that's where they come from. But I really like his body type. I've had this pack for a couple years. Because I had it when I did Sketchmas, right? Yeah, I think I had it when I did Sketchmas. That was a wild ride. that whole thing, that whole 25 days leading to Christmas, where I was just doing those on my iPad, made me so much faster at the time flatting and painting. Not that I was like over detailing anything or whatever, but I hate flatting, and once I get to that step, I will pretty much leave something and refuse to flat it, and it holds me back from finishing things sometimes. Doing the comic and when my sister couldn't flat anymore for a long time, doing the comic and doing challenges like Sketchmas that was entirely digital really helped me improve. Oh, and I don't think it needs to be said, but I will say it. I didn't speed anything up. It's just all cuts, so everything that you see is real time. I try to stay out of time lapse. I like to understand the real time. I mean, again, there is cuts, but yeah. I like this pose, this kicking pose. This is a pose that my siblings and I do at each other all the time. Like someone's gonna get their block knocked off. Because we're trouble. Pretty much just to each other. But I do this one. I draw this guy. No, that's my character. I just really like his body proportions. Yep. Fun stuff. This is the very last one. And I go very simple with it. And unfortunately, I don't get to this one. But that's okay. You can see how I simplify the face. It's so silly looking. It looks like a wooden doll. I haven't watched it, but you know the Pinocchio. Is it a claymation? I don't know. Anyway, that one. It's newer. That's what it kind of reminds me of sometimes. Just the simplification in the face. Sometimes I just draw little circles for the eyes, just for placement. And then a little, like, squidge for the bottom of the nose. It's just a lot simpler that way. And it just shows me where everything's going to be. So whenever I draw over the top, everything kind of fits. In theory, you know, you hope, but it doesn't always work out that way. I love forearms. Even though I was looking at this one and I was thinking, oh my gosh, it looks like I pulled this straight off Hades from the animated Hercules. Which is one of my favorite characters, by the way. Like, when I was a kid, I know he's supposed to be bad, which he isn't inherently in the actual mythology. But, yeah, his shapes and his personality are so good. Anyway, here's the finished page. I know it doesn't look like much. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day or night, and bye!